is so hard to give parenting advice because the advice that one person needs is not the advice that the next person needs. Some people are way, way too loving. Now, how can a person be too loving as a parent? It's the way that you show the love. For example, let's say that your children don't do any chores and they don't mind or respect you and they don't hold to any responsibilities and you do everything for them and you constantly rescue them from everything all the time. That's super loving of you. However, you're going to cripple your children. Most likely. I can't always predict these things with 100% accuracy, but most likely your children are going to be too protected and unprepared for the world, and when they go into the world, they're likely going to fail. Whereas other people are on the far other spectrum. They're not doing any sort of loving, kind thing for their kids ever. So their children grow up feeling unloved and jaded and depressed and sad and lonely. And to these people, I would say, man, help your kids out a little bit here. Give them a break. But there's a balance here, and it's child dependent. You can't just do the same thing with every kid and expect the same output, because kids come with a variation of genetic factors and environmental factors that give them a disposition. And with some kids, you might have to be a little bit more helpful, a little bit more loving, a little bit more assistance with the things that they do. And with other kids, it might be the opposite. Give more independence, more consequences. In the literature on parenting, they divided 3 parenting types. There's permissive, authoritarian, and authoritative. Permissive is too cold, and authoritarian is too hot, and authoritative is just right. Permissive is always rescuing them, doing everything for them, never giving them any consequences or chores or responsibilities. Authoritarian is way too controlling and too aggressive and restrictive, too much consequences, or the consequences don't make any sense. There's just a lot of yelling and noise and anger. That's authoritarian. And then authoritative is kind of in the middle. You have rules, you also have love. There's a balance here, there's discussion. It's somewhere in the middle. And I really do see both. I see both sides of this. There was a lady in the news recently who was abusing her children by doing absolutely nothing for them and being way too restrictive, way, way, way authoritarian, neglectful. It was abuse, and I think she went to jail for it. Don't do that. On the other side, if you never give your children chores and you never hold them accountable to anything, they'll never learn. Or they'll, when they do, become an adult, being an adult, how all these responsibilities suddenly put on them will be so overwhelming that they won't be able to handle it. They'll have terrible anxiety. They'll struggle. Or they'll get married and they'll expect their partner to do everything for them. Clean the house for me, go work for me, do everything for me. And if their partner asks them to help, they'll throw a big fit and they'll be just a terrible person to be married to. Ideally, what you would do is you'd start at a very young age and you would lovingly and encouragingly start giving them responsibilities and consequences. Try to simulate the natural world with a little bit of mercy and a little bit of love and a little bit of teaching and explanation along the way. There are tools that you can use to help you in parenting, and I wrote a book about it. You can check it out if you'd like.